Happy Makeup Tip Tuesday, MisMackers. Okay, if you are new here, I just want to take a moment and say welcome to MisMacK. I'm Missy, I'm the founder of MisMacK Clean Cosmetics. So if you are a new subscriber to our YouTube, or if you have found us at a PharmaSave, thank you so much for being part of the history of sports color cosmetics. So every Tuesday, I show up on here with a new tip and trick of how to utilize your MisMacK, or just I guess generic sort of makeup tip that you can take these tips and use them with any products that you have. Now, this week is one of those tips, okay? We're seeing a lot on the internet about highlight and contour. Now, to go back into a little bit of my history, I have been a makeup artist professionally for over 20 years. I actually started in the cosmetics industry when I was 14, so I have over 26 years, I don't know, I don't math, I just do makeup. A long time, and I've seen trends come and I've seen trends go. And my philosophy and our ethos here at MisMacK is that we're all about teaching you timeless classic makeup applications that will stand the test of time. So my goal is for you to look back on your photos, whether it's your wedding or just selfies, and you look back decades down and you'll be like, wow, I still look very polished, very fresh. I'm not stuck in a trend. That is my goal. So with that comes timeless classic makeup application techniques that kind of go against the trend sometimes. Trends are great. I have to say they're great. They're fun to play with. Just please don't get stuck in them. So if you're learning makeup, try to find someone like us who is timeless classic, who's here to enhance your beautiful natural features, not change or cover them up. Same with going into YouTubers and all of that. It's very much a trend of all this heavy makeup. So we're about the opposite. We want to show you how to feel empowered going into your makeup bag. I actually have a lot of questions about this. So right now we're seeing a lot of bronzer as contour. So I want to address this. The reason why we don't have a bronzer as of yet is because I actually don't use a bronzer in my professional makeup kit ever. If I do need to bronze up the skin, I'll actually use our shade with our soft blending brush, okay? I will show you how to do this. Again, we're seeing a lot of bronzers being used. Now, the definition of contour is to push away. The definition of highlight is to push forward. So when we're using a color like a bronzer, you can see that where you apply it, compared to a contour color that's designed correctly, not too warm, not too cool, is designed to recreate the natural shadow that your bone structure already creates, okay? So it's like the illusion of deeper set cheekbones or deeper set smaller nose, all of that, the illusion, using the right products. Bronzer is technically designed for anywhere that the sun would hit you. So over your T-zone, over the top point of your cheeks, right? You don't want to, also don't use it down here, right? Because that changes the effect of your foundation that you just spent so long perfecting. So there's places and lanes for each product. So I'm gonna show you how to contour for beginners using our cam loop / shade and our contour brush. I personally find cream products really hard to use personally. Again, I've been doing this for a really long time. Fashion to theater to all of it. I prefer powder because I can control the pigment and I feel like I control the placement a lot better. So here we go. Shade / cam loops. We're gonna take our contour brush. Now, before we get started, we're gonna do an activity together, okay? This is what I do with all my students whenever I'm teaching at the Okanagan or I'm teaching our workshops, any of that. We're gonna do a thing together. So I'm gonna get you to grab your knuckles. I'm gonna get you to place them on the top of by your temples, the top of your cheekbone. You're gonna go down onto your hairline until you feel your fingers slip into your cheekbone, okay? If you go forward, do you feel that? You feel your bone actually goes forward? That is your placement for your contour, okay? Not down like this. This is going to droop the face, okay? We want to enhance your beautiful bone structure that you already have. This is why it works with you, okay? And that's why it looks seamless every time, because we're following your bone structure, okay? We're pushing back your beautiful bones to bring your cheekbones forward, okay? Application is everything. You're gonna grab a contour brush. A contour brush is sloped so it can hug into your bone structure for an easy placement. You can get ones that are smaller, you can get ones that are bigger. If they're too big, you're gonna be out of control. I find if you're too small, you're gonna create a line. So that's why ours is like the perfect domed, so it's a beautiful blend in one swoop. Okay, Kamloops / shade, pure pigment in a pan. When you grab your brush, you're gonna pick it up, making sure you have that veil of the blur over back here, okay? Because if you don't, the product, the shadow is gonna stick and you're gonna create a really big hot spot of pigment and it's not gonna be able to blend, okay? Powder on powder, cream on cream. So that's why the blur is really important. You don't need much, you just need that soft veil back here. So you're gonna pick up, so it's all over the brush, it's not just in the center. You're going to wipe off. This is a really important step, okay? Pure pigment in a pan, less is more. Where we start, we're gonna start on the little nub of our ear. So tip into our tragus, okay? And then we brush forward, letting it taper off the apple of your cheek, okay? We're not following the curvature of the face. We want it to actually taper off, because when it tapers off, you see that? It lines up with our iris, okay? Straight across. Now, we're gonna take whatever's left over. So you can see that from a distance, nice and chiseled. Up close, doesn't really look like I'm wearing anything, okay? But it gives you that beautiful curvature to the face, okay? If you see a line, take your blur setting powder and you blur it out. Next step, so one, flip the tip. We're gonna go into the temple and we're gonna go back into the hairline with whatever's left over. See, when these 2 points are pushed away, the top of our cheekbone comes out at us, okay? The next one is we're gonna go underneath our jawline, starting way behind the ear. Underneath and down, okay? Like so. That is it. Contouring 101. You've seen the lines up here. You can, with whatever's left over, push back your temples. It's something that, your hairline. It's not something that I usually do unless I have a client who has a bit of a larger forehead, but it's not something that I usually do. I always do these points and under here. So same to the other side. We're gonna pick up. Lulu's walking in the background. Pick up, we're gonna wipe that off. Basically, when in doubt, stamp into your ear, go forward, flip the tip, go back, and then behind your ear, under your jaw, and down. That's it. Simple, easy. I call this as like the brush drop where like, oh my gosh, that is so easy compared to what you're seeing online. I also find that, there she goes again. I also find that creams are really hard to use personally. I have made an opera cast member look like she was wearing a beard when I was trying to age her and looked like she was dying for one of the operas. I just find shadows are so much easier. And because ours are pure pigment with a jojoba oil binder, they like melt into the skin. I just love them. Okay, contouring for the eye. Again, shade. So anything that has shimmer, again, definition of highlight is to push forward. Even if you have a darker color with a shimmer in it, so I'm gonna say like our Prince George / Summer Nights, that has a lot of shimmer to it. It doesn't fluff off when you blend it. That's gonna push any texture forward. Mattes are gonna push texture back. So shade / Kamloops / shade is the color that we love to use in the eye. Now, let's talk about eye shapes for a second and what the true definition of a hooded eye is. So when I look forward and I'm looking right at you, you see the fold of my skin coming up over my lid space. That is a true hooded eye. If you look straight into the mirror and you can see your entire lid space, you do not have a hooded eye, okay? Think of it like the skin is creating a hood over your actual lid space. That is a true hooded eye. Now, to push that back, and of course we know as we mature, this hood gets, I blame gravity, gets lower onto the hood. We're going to pick it up and we're going to apply right into here. Now you can see pure pigment, don't do that. We're going to blend that out. So you can see how I took that off and I'm blending up and out, pushing that away. So key when you're wanting to push a hood back is to start with straight on, go right over that space, and then push back. Okay, and I'm kind of blending it up into that way. So you can see the definition there. Pushes back, lifts without adding texture. So now remember, your first touch point is always gonna be your darkest, which is why right here when I started, you saw a lot. I really should have started back here and then moved it this way. So that was a good example of when your first touch point is always gonna be your darkest. Now, I have been obsessed with the large crease brush. This has been my new favorite brush by accident because all my other ones were dirty and I couldn't find them, so I was using this one for everything and I fell in love. I will do another Makeup Tip Tuesday on how I created a really soft eyeshadow look doing just this. Okay, let's get into highlight. Highlight, there's a few different ways of doing it. So we have two highlight colors. We have Petal, AKA Peachland, and we have Gold Dust, AKA Golden. These two are our highlight colors. So I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna pull down. So you can see that's Petal. Take that off, pick it up. I'm going to show you Golden. So gold highlight. Now you can use these two ways. You can use them dry with a large crease brush, or I'm gonna show you what they look like when you mix Gaia Gloss into them to create that really beautiful cream highlight effect that looks like you're glowing from within. You have to be careful when you're using a dry shimmer onto skin that has more texture because it can emphasize the skin. Places that we highlight: top of the cheekbone, okay? Into the inner corner, middle of the lid space. I do not do the nose. I do not do that because one, what's the furthest piece of your face that's away already? I guess the furthest point out is your nose, okay? What's the definition of highlight? To push forward. The other thing, in camera or on photos, it can look shiny, like you're having a sweat nose. Also, it draws attention right to the tip. As suppose, for me, it's all about the eyes. Okay, I don't want to bring attention to the nose. I want to bring attention right to the eyes. Okay, the other ones that I don't do is I don't do above here, especially for camera, because it's gonna show sweaty. So really, it's just the top here. Sometimes I'll do the Cupid's bow. Be very careful because it can look like a milk stash really fast. AKA, I have done that. Don't do that. Very little bit right here. That is it. Okay. I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm actually gonna show you how to do it with the Gaia Gloss because I'm obsessed. I'm gonna do this side with Golden, this side with Peachland. Gaia will be back in stock next week. Perfect timing for our 5-year anniversary of the store. So that's why I'm showing it you today so you can get your carts ready. We will release what our specials are next week, but you're gonna wanna get your cart ready now, okay? So this guy. Multi-use, it's the best lip gloss. It's an amazing nighttime lip mask. You can use it in your brows. You can use it under the eye area as a nighttime eye mask. Mix salmon into it for that beautiful color corrector. Mix it into your foundation for an amazing dewy effect to the skin. Anywhere you need moisture is where Gaia comes in. Now, it is the best cream highlight base with our shadows. So I'm gonna take Petal. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. With my finger, I'm going to load the pigment and I'm going to mix until it is a creamy effect, okay? I don't want it to be too glossy. I want it to be creamy. I'm trying to see if you can see that. So see that? That's what we're going for. Not too creamy, not too dry. That perfect texture. Okay, we're gonna load up the finger. We're going to stamp on the highest point of our cheekbone, basically where your brow would end, because this way I can pull that product over, but I can't take it away. So starting on the top of your highlight of your cheekbone, and now we're going to tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, this looks like you're glowing from within. I do this for brides, not anymore, but when I did, I would do them for brides all the time. Katie does this for brides all the time. And then blending in a downward motion. Okay, we want that to blend into the cheekbone, not up to where we had that contour. Like so. Now you have that beautiful glow. So that is Peachland. Now when we mix Petal, I'm gonna grab the other side of my Gaia, pull down, and then load. So see how it goes like this really beautiful goldeny cream. Stamp, highest point of your cheekbone, and then blend down. So gold's gonna give you that really beautiful golden tone. Peachland's gonna give you that really pearly pink. So I always go with whatever the bride's colors are. If they're more of like on the golden side or like the bronzy side, I'll go with the golden. Or if they're doing more blushes into their color scheme, I'll do petal. But really nice and soft. You can amp this up if you want more highlight frost, layer it on. But it's all about that tapping and blending it in. And you would do this after your blush, okay? So when you're doing your contour first, then your blush, then your highlight. It's like sculpting a ball, right? If you ever did that in drawing class or art class where we like blended and made a ball and shaded it, think of your cheeks as the same way. So highlight is always the afterthought, okay? Do not add the cream highlight to your eye, okay? On the top of your eye has oil glands, your bottom does not. It will crease and it'll move on you if you do it on the top of your lid. That's where you would want to do it wet. I will do another Makeup Tip Tuesday on how to do a highlight on the eye using our shimmers wet or dry so you can see the difference. But that is, you could do a little bit under the brow bone. I'm saying a little bit because it's definitely a trend to have this part highlighted, but not to say rules are made to be broken. If you love it, you do you, girlfriend. Just don't get stuck in a trend. That's all that I ask. That's all that I ask. Okay, now that we deep dove into contour and highlight, I hope that that was really useful for you. So remember, shade, AKA Kamloops, is your go-to contour color. I designed this for most skin tones up into a 9, and then you're gonna go into Cocoa, which is on its way to us today. Cocoa and Salmon will be back in the house this week, so have no fear, MisMacK is here. But that's where for ebony skin, you would use Cocoa. Anywhere from an 8 below, you would use Shade. Okay, if you have any questions, please DM us. Please comment below what your favorite tip was from this week's Makeup Tip Tuesday. And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe and join the Sports Color Cosmetics movement. We are so excited to be rolling out with PharmaSave nationally. Stay tuned for next week's really special promotions for our 5-year anniversary of this beautiful store in Salmon Arm. Okay, we will see you next week.